The day you start believing in yourself is the day you stop waiting for your life to change and start changing it yourself. How different would your life be if you truly believed you could do more than you do today? Most people don't lose because they are weak. They lose because they stop believing in themselves after a few failures. Every day they doubt their choices, question their ability, and slowly give up on the life they really want. But self-belief is not something you are born with. It is something you build, one day at a time. In this audiobook, you will discover how to trust yourself again, grow stronger through daily habits, overcome self-doubt, stay focused during hard times, and become a better version of yourself every single day. If you are ready to stop holding yourself back and start building a life you can be proud of, then stay until the end. This journey begins with one simple decision: to believe in yourself. Chapter 1. Believe in yourself. Before your life changes, there is a quiet moment that almost every person experiences, even if they never speak about it. It is the moment when they wonder if they are truly capable of becoming more than they are today. It often happens after a disappointment, after being ignored, after making a mistake, or after watching someone else move ahead while they feel left behind. In that moment, the easiest choice is to doubt yourself. The harder choice is to believe that future does not have to look like your present. That decision is where every meaningful change begins. Your circumstances may not improve overnight, but your direction can change in a single day. The first victory is not earning more money, receiving praise, or reaching a goal. The first victory is deciding that you are no longer going to treat yourself like someone who cannot grow. That one decision changes how you think, how you act, and eventually how you live. Many people spend years waiting for confidence to arrive before they begin. They imagine that successful people wake up feeling completely certain every morning. That is not how real life works. Most successful people started while feeling unsure. They simply refused to let uncertainty become an excuse. They understood something important. Action creates confidence much faster than waiting ever will. Every time you choose to do something that helps your future, your mind collects proof that you are moving forward. That proof becomes stronger than fear. It becomes stronger than hesitation. You begin to trust yourself because you can see your own effort, and effort always has the power to change a person's life. Think about the way you speak to yourself during difficult days. When something goes wrong, do you immediately call yourself a failure? Do you tell yourself that you are not smart enough, talented enough, or disciplined enough? Those words may seem small, but your mind listens to them every single time. If you repeat negative thoughts long enough, they begin to sound like facts, even when they are not true. Change begins when you become aware of those thoughts and choose different ones. Instead of saying, "I cannot do this," tell yourself, "I have not learned this yet." Instead of saying, "I always fail," remind yourself, "I am still improving." These are not empty positive words. They are honest reminders that growth takes time and that every skill can become stronger with practice. One of the biggest reasons people stop believing in themselves is because they expect quick results. They work hard for a short time, and when life does not change immediately, they become disappointed. Real improvement rarely announces itself in dramatic ways. It usually appears quietly. You become a little more patient than last month. You recover from setbacks a little faster. You make better decisions than you made before. You handle pressure with more control. These changes may seem ordinary, but together they create an extraordinary future. Never ignore small progress simply because it does not look impressive today. Small progress repeated every day becomes the foundation of lasting success. Your habits tell the truth about what you believe. If you truly believe your future matters, your daily choices will begin to reflect that belief. You will protect your time instead of wasting it. You will learn instead of making excuses. You will finish important work before searching for entertainment. You will take care of your health because you know your body carries every dream you have. These decisions are not about being perfect. They are about respecting yourself enough to prepare for the future you want. Every healthy habit is another vote for the person you are becoming. There will always be people who misunderstand your goals. Some will question your decisions because they cannot see what you see. Others may remind you of your past every time you try to build a better future. You cannot allow old opinions to decide your next chapter. People often remember who you used to be because they have not watched the quiet work you are doing inside yourself. They do not see the mornings you wake up determined to improve. They do not hear the difficult conversations you have with yourself. They do not know how many times you chose discipline over comfort. Your responsibility is not to convince everyone else that you are changing. Your responsibility is to continue changing until your life speaks for itself. Another mistake many people make is believing that confidence comes from never making mistakes. The truth is exactly the opposite. Confidence grows when you learn that mistakes don't have the power to stop you unless you quit. Every mistake teaches something valuable if you are willing to pay attention. Maybe it teaches patience. Maybe it teaches preparation. Maybe it teaches responsibility. Every lesson makes you wiser than you were before. Instead of asking, "Why did this happen to me?" begin asking, "What can this experience teach me?" That simple change in thinking turns painful moments into opportunities for growth. Your environment also shapes your belief. Spend enough time around people who constantly complain, and you will slowly begin expecting less from yourself. Spend time around people who keep learning, keep improving, and keep working, and their attitude will challenge you to become stronger. Choose your influences carefully. The voices you hear every day become part of the voice inside your own mind. Protect your thinking the same way you protect your future, because the two are connected. There is another truth that many people avoid because it requires responsibility. Nobody can believe in you enough to replace your own belief. Encouragement from family, friends, or mentors is valuable, but it cannot do your work for you. Their support may inspire you for a day, but your own commitment is what carries you through months and years. Real confidence grows quietly when you keep showing yourself that your words have meaning. If you decide to wake up early, do it. If you decide to read every day, keep reading. If you decide to improve your skills, continue learning. Every promise you keep becomes another reason to respect yourself. Do not wait until life becomes easier before deciding to grow. Growth is often what makes life easier. Strong thinking helps you face pressure with more control. Better habits give you more energy. Better decisions create better opportunities. Better character attracts greater trust from other people. None of these changes happen by accident. They happen because someone decided to improve long before the results appeared. The person you become over the next few years is being shaped by today's choices, not tomorrow's choices, not next month's plans, today's actions. Every conversation you have with yourself matters. Every decision matters. Every hour matters. Believe in yourself before your life changes, because belief is not the reward at the end of the journey. It is the strength that carries you through the journey. The day you stop waiting for proof and start building proof through your daily actions is the day your future begins moving in a new direction. Your life changes because you changed first, and once that change begins inside you, Nothing outside you can stop the progress that follows. Chapter 2. Grow. A little stronger every single day. Every person dreams about becoming stronger, wiser, more confident, and more successful. Yet many people secretly believe that real change must happen through one big event. They think one lucky opportunity, one important decision, or one perfect day will completely transform their lives. Real life tells a different story. Lasting strength is built through ordinary days that most people ignore. The person who becomes mentally stronger is usually the person who keeps improving in small ways, while everyone else is waiting for something exciting to happen. Your future is not built during your biggest moments. It is built during the quiet hours when nobody is watching and when you choose to keep moving instead of giving up. Every day gives you one more chance to become a little stronger than you were yesterday. That may not sound dramatic, but it is one of the most powerful decisions you can ever make. Strength is not about pretending that life is easy. It is about learning how to face life without allowing every problem to control your emotions. There will always be days when things do not go according to plan. Someone may disappoint you. A goal may take longer than expected. You may wake up feeling tired or discouraged. Those moments do not decide your future. Your response does. The strongest people are not protected from difficulties. They simply refuse to allow temporary problems to become permanent excuses. They understand that every challenge gives them another chance to grow into someone who can handle more responsibility tomorrow. Look back at your own life for a moment. Think about the person you were 5 years ago. You have learned things since then. You have survived situations that once felt impossible. You have made mistakes that taught you valuable lessons. Even if life has not gone exactly the way you planned, you are not the same person you used to be. Growth has already happened. The question now is whether you will continue growing on purpose, or simply hope that life improves by itself. Hope without action changes very little. Daily improvement changes everything. Many people become discouraged because they judge themselves too quickly. They expect immediate results from a few days of effort. They start exercising and expect to feel completely different in a week. They begin learning a new skill and become frustrated when they are not excellent right away. They save money for a short time and wonder why their financial situation has not completely changed. This kind of thinking causes many people to quit just before progress begins to appear. Real growth asks for patience. Every worthwhile improvement requires time because lasting change happens inside you before it becomes visible to everyone else. There is something powerful about finishing a day, knowing you became slightly better than when the day began. Maybe you listened more carefully instead of interrupting someone. Maybe you stayed calm during a difficult conversation. Maybe you finished an important task instead of avoiding it. Maybe you learned one new idea that expanded your thinking. None of these actions will make headlines, but together they shape your character. Character grows quietly. It develops through repeated choices that slowly become part of who you are. Your daily routine deserves more attention than your occasional motivation. Motivation comes and goes because emotions naturally change. Some mornings you feel excited, other mornings you feel distracted. If your future depends only on how you feel, your progress will never become consistent. A simple routine gives you direction even when your emotions are uncertain. Decide what matters most, then make those actions part of your normal day. Read something that teaches you, move your body, spend time thinking instead of constantly reacting. Complete one meaningful task before the day ends. These simple habits create a stronger mind because they remind you that your actions are guided by purpose instead of temporary feelings. One habit that quietly weakens many people is speaking negatively about themselves. Some people joke about their own abilities so often that they begin believing those words. Others constantly remind themselves of old failures while ignoring recent improvements. Your mind remembers what you repeat. Speak with honesty, but never become your own greatest obstacle. When you notice progress, acknowledge it. When you make a mistake, accept it without attacking your own value. A person who respects themselves learns faster because they spend more time improving than criticizing. Another important lesson is learning to stop measuring your life against someone else's timeline. There will always be people who seem to move faster. There will always be someone earning more, achieving more, or receiving more attention. If you spend your energy watching everyone else, you lose the opportunity to develop your own potential. Growth is personal. Your responsibility is to become a better version of yourself, not a copy of someone else's success. Every person carries different responsibilities, different experiences, and different opportunities. Stay focused on your own path because that is where your greatest progress will always be found. Life also becomes easier to handle when you learn to solve problems instead of avoiding them. Every challenge asks a simple question. Will you grow because of this experience, or will you allow it to stop you? Avoiding problems may bring temporary comfort, but facing them builds confidence that cannot be taken away. Every difficult conversation you handle with honesty makes you stronger. Every responsibility you accept prepares you for greater opportunities. Every setback you recover from teaches your mind that you are capable of moving forward even when life becomes uncomfortable. Take care of your health because your energy influences every part of your life. A tired mind struggles to make wise decisions. A body that is constantly neglected makes every challenge feel heavier than it really is. Eating better, sleeping well, and staying active are not separate from personal growth. They support it. When you have more energy, you think more clearly. You stay patient longer. You make better choices. Small improvements in your health often create unexpected improvements in your confidence and productivity. Remember that the strongest people are usually the ones who never stopped learning. They stay curious, they ask thoughtful questions, they read, they observe, they listen carefully before forming opinions. They understand that growth has no finish line. Every new lesson gives them another tool for handling life with greater wisdom. The moment you believe you have nothing left to learn is the moment your progress begins to slow. Do not underestimate what one steady day can accomplish. One day of honest effort becomes another day, then another. Weeks become months, months become years. Eventually, people notice a different person standing in front of them. They call it success, confidence, or maturity, but what they are really seeing is the result of thousands of ordinary choices made with consistency. Grow a little stronger every single day, because strength is never built all at once. It grows through the quiet decision to improve today without worrying about becoming perfect tomorrow. When you continue choosing progress instead of comfort, you build a life that no temporary setback can easily shake, and one day you will realize that the person you hoped to become was created by the small decisions you refused to ignore. Chapter 3. Stop questioning yourself and start moving forward. One habit quietly holds more people back than lack of talent, lack of money, or lack of opportunity. It is the habit of constantly questioning themselves before they take the next step. They wonder if they are good enough. They wonder if they are making the right decision. They wonder what other people will think if things do not work out. While they keep asking these questions, Time keeps moving. Days become months, and months become years. The dream remains the same, but the person never gives themselves a real chance to pursue it. There comes a moment when you must stop asking your fears for permission and start making decisions based on the future you want to build. Your life cannot move forward if your mind is always looking backward. Many people believe that successful individuals never hesitate. The truth is very different. They have doubts just like everyone else. The difference is that they refuse to make doubt the leader of their lives. They understand that every important decision carries some uncertainty. There is no perfect moment when every answer becomes clear. There is no guarantee that every plan will work exactly as expected. Waiting for complete certainty often becomes another form of delay. Progress belongs to the person who is willing to move while still learning, adjusting, and improving along the way. Think about how often you replay old mistakes in your mind. Perhaps you remember a business idea that failed, a conversation that embarrassed you, or a chance you missed years ago. Those memories can quietly convince you that you should not take another risk, but your past was never designed to become a prison. It was designed to become a teacher. Every mistake gave you information that you did not have before. Every difficult experience added wisdom that can help you make better decisions today. If you keep carrying old disappointment into every new opportunity, you will judge your future by something that no longer exists. The past is finished. The lesson remains. Carry the lesson forward and leave the regret behind. Another reason people question themselves is because they spend too much time trying to satisfy everyone around them. They worry about criticism before they even begin. They imagine conversations that have not happened. They build fear from opinions that may never be spoken. This habit steals energy that could have been used to improve their lives. You cannot build a meaningful future while trying to make every person comfortable with your choices. Someone will always disagree. Someone will always believe you should have chosen a different path. That is part of life. Respect other people, but do not allow their expectations to replace your own purpose. There is also a quiet danger in waiting until you feel completely prepared. Preparation is valuable, but endless preparation often becomes another excuse to avoid action. Reading 10 more books without applying what you already know will not create change. Watching successful people from a distance will not improve your own life. Planning every detail without taking the first step keeps you standing in the same place. Knowledge becomes valuable only when it changes the way you live. At some point, you must stop collecting information and begin creating experience. Your confidence grows through decisions, not through endless thinking. Every time you choose to face something you once avoided, your mind learns that you are stronger than you believed. Maybe that means applying for a better job, even though you feel nervous. Maybe it means starting a business you have been thinking about for years. Maybe it means having an honest conversation that you have delayed for too long. Every courageous action teaches your mind a powerful lesson. It reminds you that fear does not control your direction unless you allow it to. One important habit that separates growing people from stuck people is learning to make peace with imperfect progress. Some days you will accomplish more than expected. Other days you will feel slower than usual. That does not mean you are failing. Human beings are not machines. Your energy changes. Your circumstances change. What matters is your willingness to continue instead of giving up because one day felt difficult. A single slow day does not erase months of effort. Keep your attention on the bigger picture instead of judging your entire future by one temporary moment. Be careful about the stories you repeat inside your own mind. Some people have spent so many years telling themselves they are unlucky, ordinary, or incapable that they no longer question those beliefs. They accept them as facts. Yet many of those beliefs were created during painful moments that no longer represent who they are today. Ask yourself an honest question. Is the story you keep repeating helping you grow, or is it keeping you exactly where you are? If it keeps limiting your future, it is time to replace it with a better one. Begin reminding yourself of the times you solved difficult problems. Remember the days when you stayed strong, even though life felt heavy. Those moments are just as real as your failures, and they deserve your attention. Your direction is often more important than your speed. Some people move quickly toward goals that do not truly matter to them. Others move steadily toward a life that reflects their values. Never confuse being busy with making progress. Before every important decision, ask yourself one simple question. Does this move me closer to the person I want to become? If the answer is yes, keep going even if the results arrive slowly. If the answer is no, have the courage to change your direction before more time passes. You also strengthen your future by learning to trust your own judgment. This does not mean ignoring advice. Wise people listen carefully. They learn from experience. They ask questions. But after gathering good information, they accept responsibility for making their own decisions. A person who depends on everyone else to choose their path will always feel uncertain because their confidence belongs to someone else. Trust grows each time you make a thoughtful decision and accept its outcome with maturity. Even when the result is not perfect, you become wiser because you took responsibility instead of avoiding it. Life rewards movement. Opportunities often appear after you begin, not before. New relationships form because you showed up. New ideas come because you started working. Better opportunities become visible because you were already making progress. Standing still rarely creates new possibilities. Motion creates momentum, and momentum changes lives. Every step forward gives you something valuable that standing still never can. It gives you experience. Stop treating your future as something that will happen one day if everything becomes easier. Your future is already being shaped by what you choose today. Every hour you spend improving your skills, every decision you make with honesty, every challenge you face with courage, and every excuse you refuse to accept moves you closer to the life you want. Stop questioning yourself every time a new opportunity appears. Start giving yourself the same chance you would encourage someone else to take. Your potential will never grow while it remains hidden behind hesitation. Move forward with determination. Keep learning through every experience, and remember that your next step does not require perfect confidence. It only requires the decision that your future deserves more action than fear. Chapter 4. Build real confidence through daily actions. Real confidence is not something you wear on your face or announce with your words. It is something you quietly earn through the way you live each day. Many people spend years searching for confidence as if it is hidden somewhere outside themselves. They read about it, talk about it, and admire it in other people. Yet they never realize that confidence is created by the choices they make every single day. It is not built in one exciting moment. It grows through simple actions that slowly change the way you see yourself. When your actions and your values begin to match, something powerful happens inside you. You stop depending on encouragement from other people because you have already started proving your strength to yourself. Think about someone you genuinely respect. It is probably not because they speak the loudest or demand attention. You respect them because they keep their word. They stay calm when life becomes difficult. They take responsibility instead of making excuses. They continue doing what is right, even when nobody notices. Those qualities are not accidents. They are the result of repeated actions, practiced over a long period of time. The same opportunity belongs to you. Every ordinary day gives you another chance to become a person who earns respect, beginning with your own. One of the fastest ways to damage confidence is by making promises to yourself that you never intend to keep. You decide that tomorrow will be different. You promise to wake up earlier, finish important work, improve your health, or learn a new skill. Tomorrow arrives, and nothing changes. At first it seems harmless, but after enough broken promises, your own mind begins to doubt your words. That quiet doubt follows you into every area of life. It becomes harder to trust your decisions, because you have trained yourself to expect disappointment. The solution is not making bigger promises. The solution is making smaller commitments and honoring them consistently. If you decide to spend 20 minutes learning something useful, do it. If you decide to take a walk after work, follow through. When your actions repeatedly match your decisions, trust begins to return. Do not underestimate the value of finishing what you start. There is a special kind of confidence that comes from completing tasks, even when they are boring or difficult. Many people enjoy the excitement of beginning something new, but they lose interest when the work becomes ordinary. Growth happens during the ordinary part. It happens when the excitement disappears and discipline takes its place. Finishing one project teaches your mind that you are capable of seeing things through. That lesson becomes part of your identity. The next challenge feels less intimidating because you already have evidence that you can stay committed. Confidence also grows when you become reliable in small situations. Arrive on time. Listen carefully when someone is speaking. Return messages when you say you will. Keep your workspace organized. Pay attention to details. Speak honestly even when it feels uncomfortable. These actions may appear unrelated to confidence, but they create a powerful pattern. They teach your mind that you are someone who can be counted on. A reliable person naturally carries themselves with greater confidence because they know they are living with integrity. Many people wait for a perfect day before giving their best effort. They believe they will become productive when they feel inspired, energetic, or highly motivated. Real life rarely follows that pattern. Some of your most valuable days will begin with average energy and ordinary emotions. The people who continue moving during those days are the ones who build lasting confidence. They do not expect every morning to feel exciting. They simply decide that their goals deserve effort regardless of their mood. That choice creates emotional stability because it teaches you that your future does not depend on temporary feelings. Pay close attention to how you respond when something does not go your way. Missing one opportunity does not mean you have no future. Receiving criticism does not erase your ability. Making one poor decision does not define your character forever. Confidence is strengthened every time you recover without giving up. Learn to pause before reacting emotionally. Ask yourself what can be improved, instead of asking why everything always happens to you. A calm response during difficult moments builds inner strength that no outside praise can replace. Your environment quietly influences your confidence as well. If your room is always disorganized, your schedule is always rushed, and your responsibilities are constantly delayed, your mind begins carrying unnecessary pressure. Creating order in simple areas of your life often creates more mental peace than people expect. Clean your surroundings. Plan your day. Prepare before important tasks instead of rushing into them. These habits reduce unnecessary stress and allow you to focus your attention on meaningful progress rather than constant recovery. Another important lesson is learning to recognize your own progress without becoming satisfied too early. Some people never celebrate improvement because they only focus on what remains unfinished. Others stop growing because they become comfortable after one success. The healthy balance is to appreciate how far you have come while continuing to reach for higher standards. At the end of each day, ask yourself one honest question. What did I do today that made me stronger? The answer may be simple, but asking the question reminds your mind that every day offers another opportunity to improve. Be careful not to confuse appearance with confidence. Looking confident and being confident are completely different things. Real confidence is revealed by your behavior when nobody is watching. It appears in your willingness to study after a long day. It appears in your patience during difficult conversations. It appears when you choose honesty, even though lying would be easier. These moments shape your character, and character creates confidence that cannot be borrowed or faked. There will always be people who seem more talented or more experienced than you. Do not allow that reality to discourage you. Someone else's ability does not reduce your potential. Focus on developing your own strengths. Learn one new lesson. Improve one important skill. Correct one weakness at a time. Progress becomes much easier when your attention stays on your own development instead of constantly measuring yourself against everyone around you. Remember that confidence is not a gift given to a lucky few. It is a result earned by ordinary people who repeatedly choose responsible actions over comfortable excuses. Every honest decision, every completed responsibility, every difficult conversation handled with maturity, every healthy habit practiced consistently, and every challenge faced with determination becomes another reason to believe in yourself. Over time, these moments create something far more valuable than temporary excitement. They create a deep sense of self-respect. Once you respect yourself, your confidence no longer depends on applause, approval, or perfect circumstances. It comes from knowing that day after day you have continued becoming the kind of person who does what needs to be done. And that quiet knowledge becomes one of the strongest foundations you will ever build for the rest of your life. Chapter 5. Keep growing even on your hardest days. There will be days when getting out of bed feels harder than chasing your biggest dream. There will be mornings when your mind feels heavy before the day even begins. You may carry disappointment from something that did not work, worry about something you cannot control, or simple exhaustion from trying your best for a long time without seeing the results you hoped for. Those days are part of every meaningful life. Nobody escapes them. The question is never whether hard days will come. The real question is who you decide to become while you are living through them. Many people only believe in personal growth when life feels comfortable. Real growth shows itself when comfort disappears. The person who continues taking small steps during difficult seasons develops a strength that cannot be built during easy times. Life has a way of testing what you truly believe about yourself. It is easy to say you are committed when everything is going well. It is much harder to stay committed after a setback. Imagine planting a seed. You cannot expect it to become a strong tree after one day of sunlight. It also survives rainy days, cold weather, and changing seasons. Human growth follows the same truth. Every difficult experience asks whether your goals matter enough to continue. If your answer is yes, then your actions must continue even when your emotions feel uncertain. One mistake people often make is believing that a hard day means they are moving in the wrong direction. That is not true. Sometimes a hard day simply means you are carrying more responsibility than before. Sometimes it means you are learning a new skill that takes patience. Sometimes it means life is asking you to become stronger before giving you the opportunity you have been praying for. Do not judge your entire future because of one difficult week. Every meaningful achievement requires periods that test your patience, your discipline, and your character. During challenging moments, your expectations become very important. Stop expecting yourself to perform perfectly every single day. You are a human being, not a machine. There will be days when your energy is lower. There will be moments when you make mistakes, feel discouraged, or need more time to recover. Accepting those moments does not mean lowering your standards. It means understanding that progress continues even when your pace changes. If today you cannot accomplish everything you planned, accomplish something. One completed task is always better than giving up, because the day did not begin the way you expected. One powerful habit during difficult seasons is protecting your daily routine. When life becomes stressful, many people abandon the very habits that help them stay strong. They stop reading, they stop exercising, they stop eating well, they stop planning their day. They tell themselves they will start again when life becomes easier. Unfortunately, easier days often arrive because people kept their healthy habits during hard times, not because they abandoned them. Even if you can only give half of your usual effort, keep showing up. A shorter workout is still movement. Reading a few pages still feeds your mind. Saving a small amount still strengthens your future. Small actions remind you that your difficult season has not taken away your ability to move forward. Be careful about the conversations you have with yourself when life feels heavy. Many people become their own harshest critic during painful moments. They convince themselves they are falling behind. They assume they will never recover. They begin speaking as though one difficult chapter has already decided the ending of their story. Those thoughts quietly steal hope. Replace them with questions that lead to growth. Ask yourself what this experience is teaching you. Ask what kind of person you are becoming because of it. Ask what one useful action you can take before today ends. Questions like these shift your attention from helplessness toward responsibility. Hard days also reveal the importance of patience. We live in a world where people want immediate answers and instant results. Real life rarely works that way. Healing takes time. Learning takes time. Rebuilding confidence takes time. Earning trust takes time. You cannot rush meaningful growth. Trying to force quick results often creates unnecessary frustration. Instead of demanding immediate success, commit yourself to daily improvement. Trust that every honest effort is adding something valuable to your future. Even if today's results remain invisible, do not isolate yourself from people who genuinely care about your growth. Strong people know when to seek encouragement. They are not afraid to listen, learn, or receive support. There is wisdom in sharing your struggles with someone who wants to see you succeed. A thoughtful conversation can remind you of strengths you temporarily forgot. Sometimes another person's perspective helps you see possibilities that your own worries have hidden from view. Accept encouragement with gratitude. Then continue doing the work that only you can do. Remember that difficult seasons often remove unnecessary distractions from your life. They show you which relationships truly matter. They reveal which habits strengthen you and which habits weaken you. They expose excuses that once sounded convincing. They teach you what deserves your attention and what simply steals your time. Painful experiences are never pleasant, but they often leave behind valuable clarity. Many people discover their greatest priorities only after life forces them to slow down and think honestly. Another important lesson is learning not to compare your hardest days with someone else's best moments. You never see the full story of another person's life. Every individual carries private battles, quiet disappointments, and personal challenges. Comparing your current struggle with someone else's visible success creates unnecessary discouragement. Stay focused on your own journey. The goal is not to have a perfect life. The goal is to become stronger through every experience life places before you. There will come a day when you look back at this difficult season with different eyes. You will realize it taught you patience when you wanted speed. It taught you discipline when motivation disappeared. It taught you gratitude for simple victories that you once ignored. It showed you that your strength was greater than your fear. Most importantly, it proved that you were capable of continuing even when life became uncomfortable. That lesson cannot be purchased, borrowed, or given by someone else. It is earned through experience. Never believe that your hardest days are wasted days. They are often the days shaping your future character in ways you cannot yet see. Keep learning when progress feels slow. Keep acting with integrity when nobody is watching. Keep treating people with kindness, even when your own heart feels tired. Keep taking responsibility for your choices, instead of blaming your circumstances. Every one of those decisions makes you stronger. One day people may admire your confidence, your wisdom, and your calm spirit, but they will never fully see the difficult days that built those qualities. You will know the truth. Your greatest growth did not happen when life was easy. It happened because you refused to stop growing on the days when quitting would have been the easiest choice of all. Chapter 6. Trust your own path without looking around. One of the easiest ways to lose joy, confidence, and direction is to spend too much time looking at how everyone else is living. The moment you begin measuring your progress against another person's progress, you slowly stop paying attention to your own life. Your focus moves away from your purpose and lands on someone else's journey. Before long, you begin questioning decisions that once felt right. You wonder if you are too late. You wonder if you chose the wrong career, the wrong dream, or the wrong direction. None of those thoughts help you grow. They only create confusion. Your life was never meant to be lived according to another person's timeline. It was meant to be built through your own choices, your own effort, and your own commitment. Many people believe they are falling behind simply because they see someone else moving faster. What they forget is that speed and direction are not the same thing. A person can move quickly toward a destination that brings no lasting satisfaction. Another person may move more slowly while building a meaningful life that matches their values. The outside world often celebrates quick results, but real success is not only about reaching a goal. It is also about becoming someone you are proud of along the way. If reaching success requires sacrificing your honesty, your peace of mind, or your health, then the price is far too high. Never trade lasting character for temporary recognition. Think about the times when you made a decision because everyone else seemed to be doing the same thing. Perhaps you followed a trend that did not fit your personality. Perhaps you accepted advice that sounded popular, but never felt right inside you. Maybe you stayed in a situation that no longer helped you simply because you were afraid of looking different. Those choices often leave people feeling empty because they are living according to expectations instead of conviction. Your life becomes stronger when your decisions come from clear values instead of outside pressure. Trusting your own path does not mean believing you know everything. Wise people continue learning throughout their lives. They ask questions. They seek guidance. They study people with experience. They remain open to new ideas. The difference is that, after listening carefully, they make thoughtful decisions that fit their own circumstances. They understand that advice should help them think more clearly, not replace their ability to think for themselves. The final responsibility always belongs to the person living the life. One reason comparison becomes so dangerous is because it hides the full picture. You usually see another person's achievements, but you rarely see the sacrifices behind them. You may notice their success without seeing the years they spent learning, failing, adjusting, and trying again. You may admire their confidence without knowing how many difficult moments shaped it. Looking at only the visible results creates unrealistic expectations. Every meaningful accomplishment has a story that most people never witness. Remember that before deciding your own progress is not enough. There will always be voices telling you what your life should look like. Some people will encourage you to follow the safest road. Others will expect you to live according to traditions that no longer fit your purpose. Some will criticize your dreams simply because they do not understand them. Listen respectfully, but never forget that these people are not responsible for the consequences of your decisions. You are. At the end of each day, you must live with the choices you make. That is why your direction should be guided by careful thinking instead of constant approval. Your greatest competition is not another person. It is the version of yourself that settles for less than you are capable of becoming. Ask yourself honest questions every week. Are you becoming more responsible? Are you learning new skills? Are you improving the way you manage your time? Are you becoming more patient with people? Are you handling challenges with greater maturity? These questions keep your attention where it belongs. They measure progress by personal growth instead of public attention. There is another habit that quietly strengthens your confidence. Learn to celebrate other people's success without believing it reduces your own opportunities. Someone else's achievement is not proof that there is less available for you. It simply shows what is possible through commitment and effort. When you stop seeing life as a competition for limited success, your thinking becomes healthier. You can admire others without feeling threatened. You can learn from them without trying to become them. That mindset protects your peace and keeps your energy focused on building your own future. Trust also grows when you become comfortable making decisions without needing immediate praise. Not every wise choice will be understood right away. Sometimes the best decision is also the loneliest one. Choosing to improve your habits may separate you from people who enjoy wasting time. Choosing financial discipline may require saying no to unnecessary spending, while others continue chasing temporary pleasure. Choosing to study, practice, or work on your goals may mean missing certain forms of entertainment. These moments test whether you truly value your future more than short-term comfort. Quiet discipline often creates results long before anyone notices the effort behind them. Do not become discouraged if your progress feels slower than expected. A meaningful life is not built in a hurry. Every day gives you another opportunity to improve one important area. Strengthen your thinking. Improve your communication. Become more dependable. Handle your responsibilities with greater care. Show respect even when others fail to do the same. These qualities may not receive immediate attention, but they create a reputation that lasts much longer than temporary popularity. There will be moments when your path feels uncertain. During those times, remember why you started. Return to your values instead of your fears. Think about the person you are working to become, not just the results you hope to achieve. When your purpose remains clear, temporary obstacles lose much of their power. They become problems to solve instead of reasons to quit. As the years pass, you will notice something important. The people who stayed focused on improving themselves usually build lives filled with confidence and peace. The people who spent most of their time comparing, competing, and seeking approval often remain restless, because they never truly discovered what mattered to them. Choose the first path. Keep your attention on your own growth. Trust your decisions after careful thought. Accept that your journey will not look exactly like anyone else's, and that is perfectly fine. Your future does not need to resemble another person's story to become meaningful. It only needs to reflect the best version of who you are becoming. Stay committed to that direction, continue walking with patience, and one day you will realize that the greatest reward was never simply arriving at your destination. It was becoming a person who had the courage to trust their own path every step of the way. Chapter 7. Become better than you were yesterday. Every new morning gives you something that money cannot buy, and no one can take away before you use it. It gives you another chance to improve the person you were yesterday. That is one of the greatest opportunities in life. You cannot change last week. You cannot rewrite old conversations or undo poor decisions. But you can decide that today will not be a copy of yesterday. Many people spend years wishing for a different life, while repeating the same habits every day. They expect different results without making different choices. Real change begins when you stop asking life to become better first, and start becoming better yourself. Improvement is always personal before it becomes visible to the world around you. One of the biggest mistakes people make is believing they must transform everything at once. They become excited, make impossible plans, and expect themselves to completely change within a few days. When that does not happen, they become disappointed and return to old habits. A wiser approach is much simpler. Look at one area of your life that needs attention and improve it a little today. Speak with more patience than yesterday. Listen more carefully than yesterday. Learn something useful that you did not know yesterday. Handle one responsibility with greater care than yesterday. These small improvements may not impress other people immediately, but they quietly reshape your future. Imagine meeting two different versions of yourself. One version makes excuses every time life becomes difficult. The other version accepts responsibility and searches for solutions. One version delays important work until tomorrow. The other begins even when the task feels uncomfortable. One version spends time complaining about problems. The other spends time improving skills that solve those problems. Which version would create a better future? The answer is obvious. The challenge is choosing that better version every single day, especially when nobody else is watching. Your growth is often determined by the questions you ask yourself. Instead of asking why life feels unfair, ask what lesson you can learn today. Instead of asking why someone else is succeeding faster, ask how you can become more prepared. Instead of asking why you are not perfect yet, ask what one action would make you stronger before this day ends. Better questions lead to better thinking, and better thinking leads to better decisions. Every meaningful improvement begins inside the mind, long before it appears in your results. There is something powerful about ending each day with the feeling that you honored your potential. That does not require perfection. It simply means you gave an honest effort. Maybe you completed work that you wanted to avoid. Maybe you stayed calm during a stressful situation instead of reacting with anger. Maybe you admitted a mistake without blaming someone else. These moments strengthen your character because they require maturity. Character is built through choices that are often invisible to everyone except you. Never underestimate the importance of learning from ordinary experiences. Many people believe only major events shape their lives, but everyday moments often teach the greatest lessons. A conversation with a family member can improve your patience. A mistake at work can improve your attention to detail. A disagreement can improve your ability to listen before responding. Every day carries opportunities to become wiser if you pay attention. The person who keeps learning from daily life will continue growing long after. Others believe they already know enough. One habit that keeps people stuck is defending every weakness instead of improving it. Some people say they are simply impatient. Others say they have always been disorganized or always lacked discipline. They speak about these habits as though they cannot change. The truth is that habits are built through repetition, and they can also be replaced through repetition. The first step is being honest. Admit where improvement is needed without feeling ashamed. Honesty creates awareness, and awareness opens the door to growth. You cannot improve what you refuse to recognize. Your attitude during small responsibilities says a great deal about the person you are becoming. Washing the dishes, answering messages with respect, arriving prepared, keeping your surroundings clean, finishing work carefully, and treating strangers with kindness may seem like simple actions, but they reveal your standards. People who consistently handle small responsibilities with care are usually prepared when greater opportunities arrive. Excellence is not something you suddenly display during important moments. It is something you practice through ordinary routines until it becomes part of your identity. It is also important to forgive yourself for being a beginner in new areas of life. Nobody starts with complete knowledge or perfect ability. Every expert once struggled with basic skills. Every confident speaker once felt nervous. Every successful leader once made mistakes while learning. Do not become discouraged because today's ability does not match tomorrow's potential. Give yourself permission to improve through practice instead of expecting instant success. The willingness to keep learning is far more valuable than pretending to already have all the answers. As you continue improving, you may notice that some people become uncomfortable with your growth. They became familiar with the older version of you. They expect the same habits, the same excuses, and the same way of thinking. Stay respectful, but do not stop growing to make others comfortable. Your responsibility is to become the best version of yourself, not to remain the same so everyone else feels familiar. Growth sometimes changes relationships, priorities, and routines. Accept those changes with wisdom, because every new level of maturity requires new decisions. Take time each evening to reflect honestly. Ask yourself where you handled life well and where you could respond better tomorrow. This simple habit keeps your attention on continuous improvement instead of endless criticism. Reflection is not about feeling guilty. It is about becoming more aware. Awareness gives you the power to make better choices the next day. A person who regularly examines their own life continues improving because they refuse to live on automatic habits. Life becomes meaningful when you stop chasing perfection and start pursuing steady improvement. Every day is another opportunity to become more disciplined, more patient, more thoughtful, more dependable, and more grateful than you were before. These qualities grow through consistent practice, not through luck. Years from now, people may notice your confidence, your wisdom, and your calm approach to challenges. What they may never fully understand is that those qualities were built one ordinary day at a time. They were created because you made a simple decision again and again. You chose not to compete with the person standing beside you. You chose to compete with the person you were yesterday. That decision has the power to change your future because every better day creates a better week. Every better week creates a better year, And every better year creates a life you can look back on with pride, knowing that you never stopped becoming a stronger version of yourself. Chapter 8. Turn small daily wins into big confidence. Confidence is often misunderstood because many people believe it appears after a major success. They imagine that once they earn more money, receive recognition, achieve an important goal, or finally reach the life they have always wanted, confidence will automatically arrive. Real life teaches something much different. Lasting confidence is usually built long before those big moments ever happen. It grows through small victories that seem almost unimportant at the time. These daily wins quietly change the way you see yourself. They remind you that you are capable of making progress, solving problems, and staying committed, even when nobody is paying attention. Every meaningful achievement begins with ordinary actions that most people overlook. Think about the first hour of your day. That hour often shapes everything that follows. If you wake up and immediately delay important responsibilities, your mind begins the day feeling unprepared. If you wake up and complete one useful task, even something simple, your attitude changes. You begin carrying a sense of purpose into the rest of the day. It is not because the task itself was extraordinary. It is because you proved to yourself that you were willing to act instead of waiting. That feeling creates momentum, and momentum has the power to change an ordinary day into a productive one. Many people ignore their daily victories because they believe only huge accomplishments deserve attention. They complete difficult work, learn something valuable, stay patient during a stressful conversation, or keep a healthy habit for another day, and then immediately focus on what they have not achieved yet. This way of thinking creates unnecessary frustration because the mind begins believing that nothing is ever enough. Learn to recognize honest progress. Finishing one chapter of a book matters. Keeping your room organized matters. Saving a little money instead of spending it carelessly matters. Speaking kindly when you could have reacted with anger matters. Every one of these actions strengthens your identity. They remind you that you are becoming someone who follows through. There is an important reason why small victories matter so much. They build trust between you and yourself. Every time you decide to do something helpful and actually complete it, you send a clear message to your own mind. You tell yourself that your decisions have value. Over time, your mind begins expecting consistency instead of disappointment. That expectation becomes one of the strongest sources of confidence because it is based on evidence, not wishful thinking. You know you can rely on yourself because you have practiced doing exactly that. Do not wait for perfect conditions before taking action. Some days will begin with low energy. Other days will bring unexpected problems before lunch. You cannot always control what happens around you, but you can control one useful action that keeps you moving. Perhaps today, your victory is making one important phone call you have been avoiding. Perhaps it is finishing work before opening social media. Perhaps it is choosing patience instead of raising your voice. Every day offers opportunities to collect another small victory, if you remain willing to notice them. One reason people lose confidence is because they spend too much time thinking about everything that still needs to be done. They carry the weight of 10 unfinished goals while forgetting the progress they have already made. This creates constant pressure without giving the mind any reason to feel encouraged. Instead, learn to divide large goals into manageable actions. Focus completely on the next meaningful step. When that step is finished, move to the next one. Progress becomes much easier when your attention stays on today's responsibility instead of tomorrow's worries. Another valuable habit is ending each day with honest reflection. Before you sleep, ask yourself what you handled well today. Do not search for perfection. Search for progress. Maybe you stayed focused longer than usual. Maybe you listened carefully during an important conversation. Maybe you controlled your spending. Maybe you exercised even though you felt tired. These moments deserve recognition because they represent choices that strengthen your future. A grateful mind notices growth instead of constantly searching for reasons to feel discouraged. Confidence also increases when you stop expecting every day to be remarkable. Most of life is lived through ordinary moments. The way you prepare your work, the way you greet people, the way you solve everyday problems, and the way you respond when nobody is praising you all shape your character. Ordinary moments become extraordinary when they are handled with care. Never believe that only major events define your life. The small decisions repeated consistently become the habits that eventually define who you are. Be careful not to compare your quiet victories with someone else's public achievements. Another person's success does not erase your progress. Your responsibility is to continue building the life that matches your own values. Every person begins from a different place. Every person carries different responsibilities and different challenges. Keep your attention on your own improvement, because that is where your greatest power exists. The more energy you invest in your own development, the less time you have to question whether someone else is moving faster. There will be days when your progress feels almost invisible. You may wonder if your efforts are making any difference at all. During those moments, remember that meaningful change often happens beneath the surface, before it becomes obvious. Skills improve through repetition. Character develops through repeated choices. Self-respect grows through daily responsibility. These qualities do not appear suddenly. They quietly strengthen every time you choose the right action over the easy one. Trust the process enough to continue even when the results seem slow. Success is rarely created by one perfect decision. More often, it is created by hundreds of ordinary decisions made with consistency. A healthy meal instead of an unhealthy one. An honest conversation instead of avoiding the truth. 1 hour of focused work instead of endless distraction. A thoughtful response instead of an emotional reaction. Reading instead of wasting another evening. These moments may seem too small to matter, but together they create a person who becomes dependable, disciplined, and prepared for greater opportunities. Never overlook the power of one good day. One good day encourages another. Those days become productive weeks. Productive weeks become meaningful months. Over time, your entire life begins reflecting the standards you chose during moments that seemed ordinary. That is why confidence does not arrive as a surprise. It grows naturally because you have given yourself hundreds of reasons to believe in your own ability. Every small victory becomes another piece of proof that you are capable of handling more than you once believed. Keep collecting those victories without becoming impatient. They are shaping your future in ways you cannot always see today. And one day you will realize that the confidence you were searching for was quietly built through the simple daily choices you refuse to ignore. Chapter 9. Make yourself proud one step at a time. One of the greatest feelings a person can experience is not fame, wealth, or applause. It is the quiet satisfaction of knowing that you are becoming someone you genuinely respect. That feeling cannot be purchased, borrowed, or given by another person. It grows from the choices you make when nobody is watching. It grows when you stay honest, even though lying would be easier. It grows when you continue working after others have stopped. It grows when you refuse to quit, simply because progress is slower than you expected. Making yourself proud is not about proving your worth to the world. It is about reaching the end of each day, knowing you honored your own values. That kind of pride creates peace, because it comes from within, not from changing opinions around you. Many people spend too much of their lives chasing approval. They hope someone will finally notice their effort, appreciate their sacrifices, or recognize their ability. There is nothing wrong with enjoying encouragement, but if your happiness depends entirely on someone else's approval, your confidence will always feel uncertain. Some people will praise you. Others may ignore your progress completely. You cannot build your future on reactions you cannot control. Instead, begin asking yourself a different question. Did I become a better person today than I was yesterday? That question keeps your attention on the one standard that truly matters: your own growth. There is a powerful difference between being impressed by yourself and being proud of yourself. Being impressed often comes from big achievements. Being proud comes from living with integrity. You become proud when your actions match the promises you make. If you decide to improve your health, follow through. If you commit to learning something valuable, stay consistent. If you promise yourself that you will stop making excuses, keep that promise even when life becomes difficult. Every time you honor your own word, you strengthen your self-respect. Over time, you stop needing constant reminders that you are capable, because your daily life has already become the proof. Life becomes much easier when you stop trying to change everything overnight. Many people become discouraged because they judge themselves by the distance still remaining instead of appreciating the ground they have already covered. Imagine climbing a long staircase. Looking only at the top can make the journey feel impossible. Looking at the next step gives you something realistic to accomplish. Personal growth works the same way. Focus on today's responsibility. Read one chapter. Finish one important task. Improve one conversation. Correct one habit. Learn one lesson. Those simple actions seem small on their own, but together they create remarkable change over time. One habit that quietly destroys self-respect is avoiding responsibility. Every time you know what needs to be done but continue delaying it, your confidence becomes weaker. The unfinished work stays in your mind. It steals your attention and creates unnecessary pressure. On the other hand, every completed responsibility gives your mind a sense of relief and strength. It reminds you that you are capable of handling your life instead of constantly running from it. Face small responsibilities quickly. Pay your bills on time. Answer difficult messages instead of avoiding them. Keep your surroundings clean. Finish the work you begin. These ordinary decisions build extraordinary character. Do not be afraid to admit when you need to improve. Honest self-reflection is one of the strongest qualities a person can develop. Pride that refuses to learn becomes weakness. Humility that accepts correction becomes strength. There will be moments when someone points out a mistake you made. Listen carefully before becoming defensive. Sometimes those uncomfortable moments contain valuable lessons that help you become wiser. A person who continues learning never remains trapped by yesterday's habits. Another important lesson is learning to stop carrying guilt for mistakes you have already corrected. There is a difference between remembering a lesson and living inside regret. Regret keeps your attention on what cannot be changed. Responsibility keeps your attention on what you can improve today. If you have learned from your mistake, accepted the consequences, and chosen a better direction, give yourself permission to move forward. Holding on to endless guilt does not make you a better person. Living differently does. Pay attention to the people you spend the most time with. Their habits, attitudes, and conversations influence your thinking more than you realize. Spend time with people who encourage growth instead of excuses. Choose friends who challenge you to become more responsible, more disciplined, and more thoughtful. Healthy relationships inspire improvement because they remind you that your potential is greater than your current comfort. Protect your environment because it quietly shapes your future. There will be seasons when your progress feels invisible. During those times, remember that many of life's greatest improvements happen before anyone else notices them. A stronger mindset develops quietly. Better judgment develops through repeated experience. Emotional maturity grows through situations that test your patience. You may not see dramatic results every week, but if you continue making wise decisions, your future will eventually reflect the effort you invested during these unseen moments. Never allow temporary failure to decide how you see yourself. One disappointing result does not erase your ability. One difficult conversation does not define your character. One setback does not remove your future. What matters is your response after disappointment arrives. Choose to learn instead of making excuses. Choose to continue instead of surrendering. Every time you stand back up, you become someone you can respect a little more. That respect becomes far more valuable than temporary success, because it stays with you through every season of life. Success becomes much more meaningful when the person achieving it has grown in wisdom, patience, honesty, and responsibility along the way. Reaching a goal without developing character leaves people feeling empty, because external success cannot replace inner respect. Make your character your greatest achievement. Become someone who treats people fairly. Become someone who keeps learning regardless of age. Become someone who stays calm under pressure. Become someone whose actions create trust. These qualities remain valuable long after individual goals have been reached. As the years pass, your greatest reward will not simply be the things you collected or the titles you earned. Your greatest reward will be the person you became through thousands of thoughtful decisions. Every time you chose discipline over delay, honesty over convenience, kindness over anger, learning over comfort, and responsibility over excuses, you added another reason to respect yourself. That is how a meaningful life is built. Not through one dramatic moment, but through one steady step after another. Keep taking those steps with patience and purpose. Keep raising your standards without comparing yourself to anyone else. Keep becoming the person your younger self would admire and your future self will thank. One day you will look in the mirror and realize that the greatest achievement was never simply reaching your destination. It was becoming someone who earned their own respect one step at a time. Chapter 10. Never stop becoming the person you want. There comes a point in life when you realize that the greatest project you will ever work on is not your career, your business, or even your biggest goal. The greatest project is the person you become while pursuing those things. Success can be gained and lost. Money can come and go. Opportunities appear and disappear. But the character you build stays with you wherever you go. That is why your greatest responsibility is never to stop becoming the person you know you are capable of becoming. Growth is not something you complete. It is a way of living. The day you decide you already know enough, have improved enough, or no longer need to grow, is the day your progress begins to slow. Life keeps changing, and every new season asks you to become wiser, stronger, and more prepared than before. Many people reach one important goal and quietly stop challenging themselves. They become comfortable with what they have already accomplished. Comfort is not always harmful, but staying comfortable for too long often causes hidden potential to remain unused. Every person has abilities they have not fully developed, lessons they have not yet learned, and strengths waiting to be discovered. Do not allow today's achievements to become tomorrow's limits. Be grateful for your progress, but continue asking yourself where you can improve. The greatest version of yourself is always built through the willingness to keep learning. One of the most valuable habits you can develop is remaining curious. Curious people continue asking questions long after others believe they already have all the answers. They read because they know knowledge expands their thinking. They observe people because they understand that every conversation carries a lesson. They listen before speaking because they value understanding more than proving themselves right. Curiosity keeps your mind alive. It protects you from becoming trapped by old ways of thinking. A growing mind creates a growing life. As you continue changing, your priorities will also change. Things that once seemed important may no longer deserve your attention. You may discover that protecting your peace is more valuable than winning unnecessary arguments. You may realize that spending time with people who inspire growth is better than trying to impress people who never appreciate your effort. You may begin valuing your health, your family, and your integrity more than temporary success. These changes are not signs that you are losing yourself. They are signs that you are becoming more aware of what truly matters. Never become discouraged because growth sometimes feels slow. The strongest improvements often happen quietly. Your patience becomes stronger through difficult conversations. Your wisdom grows after making thoughtful decisions. Your discipline develops when you continue doing what is necessary, instead of only what feels enjoyable. These qualities cannot be measured in a single day, but over time they transform every area of your life. The person who keeps improving year after year eventually reaches a place that once seemed impossible. One important truth is that your future identity is shaped by today's repeated choices. Every habit either moves you closer to the person you want to become or further away from that vision. Every hour has value because it gives you another opportunity to make a better decision. Choose books that challenge your thinking instead of filling your mind with constant distraction. Choose conversations that encourage growth instead of endless complaints. Choose actions that strengthen your future instead of temporary comfort. These decisions may seem ordinary, but they quietly determine the direction of your life. There will always be moments when you feel tempted to settle. You may tell yourself that you have already done enough, or that improving one more area of your life is unnecessary. During those moments, remember how much your life has already changed, because you refused to remain the same person. Every improvement you have made came from one decision to keep moving. Why stop now? The future still holds lessons you have not learned, people you have not helped, and opportunities you have not yet imagined. Continue preparing yourself for those moments by becoming better every day. Do not fear getting older. Fear reaching the end of your life, while knowing you stopped growing long before your final day. Age does not prevent personal growth. A closed mind does. Some of the wisest people continue learning throughout their entire lives that improvement has no finish line. They remain teachable. They welcome new experiences. They adapt when necessary without abandoning their values. That attitude keeps their lives meaningful because they continue becoming stronger regardless of the number of years behind them. As you grow, remember to lift other people whenever you can. Share what you have learned. Encourage someone who is struggling. Listen carefully when someone needs understanding. Your own journey becomes even more meaningful when it helps another person believe in their own potential. True success is never only about personal achievement. it is also about the positive influence your life has on those around you. A kind word, thoughtful advice, or simple encouragement can become the beginning of someone else's transformation. Protect your standards because they shape your future. Continue choosing honesty when shortcuts seem easier. Continue showing respect even when respect is not returned. Continue working with excellence even when nobody is checking your effort. Continue making wise decisions when immediate rewards are not visible. These moments define who you are. Character is built through consistency, and consistency creates a life filled with quiet confidence. Never forget that becoming the person you want is not about pretending to be perfect. It is about refusing to stop improving. You will still make mistakes. You will still experience disappointment. You will still face days when life feels uncertain. The difference is that you will meet those moments with greater wisdom than before, because you never stopped developing yourself. Every challenge becomes another opportunity to practice patience. Every responsibility becomes another chance to strengthen your character. Every new day becomes another invitation to grow. One day you will look back and realize that the greatest victories were not only the goals you reached, but the habits you built, the values you protected, the discipline you developed, and the courage you showed during ordinary moments. Your confidence will come from knowing that you never allowed comfort to replace growth. Your peace will come from knowing that you remained true to the person you wanted to become. Keep moving forward with humility, purpose, and determination. Keep learning when others stop learning. Keep improving when others settle. Keep believing that tomorrow can become better because you are willing to become better. Never stop becoming the person you want, because the greatest chapter of your life is always written by the person you choose to become next.